Energy freestyle team. They're out here checking out those big, beautiful Yamahas to make sure that they work where they're supposed to down here on the ground. Because you see, that's not where they're going to stay. So they got to get their heads in the right place. I gotta like a guy who can be that flexible, you know what I mean? As they start to get themselves focused, you'll notice they start looking at you too, right? You want to make sure that you're a part of it too. As a matter of fact, when you hear that brep, 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 that's them talking to you. They're saying, are you having a good time? Welcome here to the Monster Energy compound. This is freestyle motocross. You never see what we're going to see here. Sooner or later, they got to face this takeoff. That takeoff ramp stands about 8 feet tall, about 4 feet wide, and weighs about 1,700 pounds, covered with expanded metal, grabbing off the tires of a dirt bike. And do that. Send that motorcycle 30 feet up and 75 feet across. To that 16-foot tall, custom-built airbag landing. Each of these riders is checking out that motorcycle now, where it will do the most amazing things. They're also checking out that wind. That wind pushing on the rider. You can see that jersey blowing all around. You got to know that that wind is needed to be. Little finger kiss right there, just for good luck. Now you see, as they warm up here right now, they are paying attention to you. You know that, right? Because your warm up is coming up here in just a moment. I think that was called a dolphin. I haven't seen that one for a long time. Now, as you can see, what goes on with freestyle motocross is not just jumping that motorcycle up in the air. You take your hands off, take your feet off. Sometimes they take their whole bodies off of the motorcycle. That's very much going to depend on you. In the wind right there, starting to hit a couple of tricks, and we want to make sure that you're getting warmed up too. Whoa. I'm looking here, if they talk about the wind, and these guys are already hitting it big here, but you know something? Your warm-up is coming here in just a minute. So in order to get you ready, we want to give you something you'll remember, all right? This is called the freestyle train. Watch this. All 5 riders in a freestyle train. That's often called the most dangerous trick of all. One mistake, there ain't no show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they're coming by here looking at you. Because this is your moment coming here. This is the time when you say, is this going to be the biggest show ever? We're going to bring our riders right over here. Bring our Monster Energy girls out here. You'll shut down those motorcycles for just a moment. 2, 3. That's what I'm talking about. That'll send these guys high. And guess what? You're first. It's all dressed in white today, looking good as ever. This guy comes to us originally from Valley Springs, California, but these days he resides in San Diego, and I'll point out why that's important in a minute. Up there high, hit a beautiful trick like that. At 13 years old, he watched the X Games and said, I want to do that. At 16 years old, he turned pro, and since that time, a sensational rider all around the world. Well, why that San Diego thing? Because every day he's at home, he likes to surf, helps him keep that balance. KSMMX, Yamaha, Scott, Thor, and Monster are proud to present to you Luke Dolan. Guy all looking fly in that fly gear right here. But you know, he's got a great story. Most of these riders started with motocross racing, but not this guy. He was strapped on a snowmobile at 4 years old in front of his mama riding the back country, and since that time, he has been absolutely astounding on that snowmobile. Amazing on a motorcycle, but let me say this with that snowmobile thing. 2018, he won his first medal, and this time, he is the reigning gold medalist in snowmobile speed and style at the X Games. Brought to us by KSFMX, Yamaha, Monster Fly, DBK, and Western Power Sports. Put your hands together for Willie Elon. I always love to look at this rider. It was 21 years ago that I saw him at his 4th pro show ever. And he did stuff like that. His daddy came over to me and said, "Do you think he'll be an amazing rider?" I said, "I'm calling everybody I know because this is one of the most sensational riders ever with the KSFMX team." Competed with X Fighters, competed at X Games. He's brought to us by KSFMX, Yamaha, Scott, DBK, Thor, and SCS. You can say you were here with Brody Wilson. What more can I say about this rider than this? A 3-time X Games gold medalist. That was in motocross racing, but the story I love to tell was the very first time she went to the X Games and competed against the boys in a best whip contest. She won bronze. I said, "What was that like?" She said, "I made them cry." You gotta love that. Bringing it to us from Monster, 805, DJI, Fly, KSFMX, and Yamaha. Put your hands together for Vicky Golden. I've known this rider the longest. I'm glad to call him my friend because he is quite a story. Oh, there's no one who looks like that on a motorcycle. 6 feet 3 inches tall. I mean, he's been in movies like Family Plan with Mark Wahlberg, but these days he's doing what he's always loved to do. He gave up a promising baseball career to ride motorcycles, and we're so glad that happened. Brought to us by Monster, Fly, Factory Yamaha, DBK, Scott, and SCN. A world record holder in freestyle motocross, the KS and KSFMX. This is Keith Sayers. Now here is your chance, with each rider performing tricks individually on the ramp. This is the way they're judged at X Games, and this is the way they showcase what they do. Luke Dolan up there, beautifully done. A cliffhanger, holding on with the toes of his boots, and then up to a jackhammer. I do not know how he gets so far out on the side of that bike. Wilson turning himself inside now, just about there on that switchblade. A super can, and you saw those legs all the way around the backside. Here comes Vicky. Vicky Kiss of Death, tsunami style. That's a handstand on top of the handlebar. All right, Sayers now. That one makes me a little nervous. You got to be straight coming down on that airbag, or it'll wash over your front tire like a snowdrift here in Calgary. Look like a rodeo cowboy when they turn the camera the wrong way. You know what I mean? Willie even now, flip bars up. You saw him flip those up. What's he got in mind? Knack flip, but he waited till he was way past the apex before he threw that leg over the backside. Wilson getting those hands off all the way to the back. He's got to bring it all the way back to the front to land that butt. Vicky with that racing number 423 on the front. Beautifully done. Old school backflip for the master of the whip. Before, oh boy, she's got that one dialed in. Sayers back there kicking it out. Huge. A heart attack as he brought those legs up high over his head. Dolan now, circling here. Backside, rock solid as he let go of the motorcycle 30 feet in the air. Sayers now. Your Beaver runner up there hits that beautiful one-handed heart attack. Look at it, this guy just pulling it out here. Brody Wilson in the holy crowd. Out to the front, back to the bars. Biggie got the revs going here now in the Yamaha. Here we go. Backside executioner. She reached back. You saw the Indy. Perfectly executed. Then her reaching for that heel to the back. Sayers now. There's the trick. That is a trick that took him around the world. That is the Captain Morgan, but the guy who does it the best in the world. Dolan, backflip from Luke Dolan. Oh my. Got it perfectly executed there, but got the wind a little bit. You saw it pulling a little bit to the side there for him. Wilson now. Oh, man. Half-holy grab to the back. One-handed grab off the handoff. That is too complicated to call. Just give that guy a little love down there, would you? Mickey out there. Oh, man. How did you whip the bike out in the wind to hit that super net? Sayers takes it upside down, gets the hands off as the wind pushes the big man around. Heading back up on top here right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they've just given you freestyle motocross in its best form. And I'd like to know, by asking this question, once Keith has arrived up on top, just see how you respond, all right? How many fans of freestyle motocross do we have here now? Man, they have pulled it out huge here in this win, but it looks to me like they're kind of getting ready to fool around up there. You see, there's a little something that we call doubles, where you put two riders on the ramps at the same time. And of course, they are freestyle motocross riders, so you know, could be right way, wrong way. Let's see what they got in mind here. There's a little discussion here up there. I think it's an awful lot to do about that wind here. But I want to see if we'll get, look at this. Dolan and Elam coming down the rim. No, look at this. You got Vicky. You got Sayers. Pulling up over here, the two of them here right now. All right, Vicky. Up there high to the helicopters, both of them hitting it in stereo and double, both riders on the ramp virtually at the same time. Here comes Luke Dolan, along with Sayers and Brody Wilson. Oh, there you go, right way, wrong way, right? Knack on the backside, upside down. Knack in the middle, right side up. All right, these two are looking here right now. You know, there's just nobody more competitive in this business than Vicky Golan. She's got the concentration going on here now. And right behind her there. Superman on the backside. Leaves a Super Indy on the backside and upside down. Right way, wrong way. Sayers, Dolan, and Wilson now. The triples. I gotta love this. Oh, look at this. Nothing's all the way across the sky. They're not even holding on to the motorcycle. Give those three times the love down here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the riders look like they are enjoying what they're doing. It looks to me like you are having a little fun, so let's play a little game here in freestyle motocross. You see, the first piece of language is watch this, but the second piece of language is can they go bigger? And that's where you come in. So let's get them lined up here for a freestyle train. Here we go. All 5 riders on the ramp at the same time. Now that was huge, and I gotta point this out. That's the original trick of freestyle motocross, the whip. That's the one that Vicky won the medal in at the X Games. They all did it, and they all do it individually. But let's see what you guys say. Can they go bigger? How about y'all up there on the hillside? Can they go bigger? Riders are lined up here right now as they look back and forth to decide what to do. Vicky on the back, Sayers in the front. Unbelievable work on the backside of the bike, let go of those motorcycles and getting the heart attacks there, but I don't know. I gotta find out from you guys. gotta get those hands up a little higher. Gotta get a little louder. Do you want to go bigger? You want to go bigger? I don't know how much bigger they can go. Lining up here right now again. Our riders discussing what's happening here. Elam taking the lead here with Sayers, Wilson, Dolan, and Vicky Golden. You gotta love that. Cliffhangers in the middle, jackhammer style, and then the KOD all the way around on the front, back, and middle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we got one more shot at it here. I gotta see everybody's hands up in the air. I gotta hear all your voices here. You wanna go bigger? Well, then get yourself ready. This is the one you might have been waiting for. This is the flip train. Ladies and gentlemen, put those hands up high, raise your voices, show your appreciation for these riders who have risked their lives here for you today. The members of the KSFMX team. Mr. Willie Elam, Brody Wilson, Vicky Golden, and Keith Sayers. These are the stars of the Monster Energy. Our athletes will be down in the Monster Garage for an autograph session. I know our Monster Energy girls will join them down there. So on behalf of our riders, our Monster Energy girls, 8 feet tall and 4 feet wide, covered with expanded metal to grab the knobby tires of a dirt bike and send them there. 30 feet above the Monster Energy compound across a gap of 75 feet. To that 16-foot tall, custom-built airbag landing. And in between, well, they got to see how the motorcycle does. Working it out here now as they shuffle it back and forth. Check it out here. Sayers pull it off here now. That back of his might be causing us some trouble. As they get the warm-ups going here right now, they're looking at you. So ladies and gentlemen, when the motorcycle's running, they can't hear you all that well, but they sure can't see you. So you want to see them get a little bigger, you go ahead and raise those hands up high. You go ahead and shout it out loud. Speaking of getting your hands up high, they're trying to get into the tricks right now. They're taking their hands off the motorcycle, their feet off the pegs, and bodies off the bike. And, hey man, sometimes they'll do that upside down. All of the riders pulling in here right now. Looks to me like Sayers may be out of it for sure, but wait a minute, these guys look like they got something special in mind for you right now. 4 riders together on the ramp. Watch this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that they got warmed up well, because now it's your turn. See, now we got to know that you can really provide the adrenaline that they need to take it one more notch higher and get just every inch bigger. Our riders are pulling up over here right now, shutting those motorcycles off. We'll get our Monster Energy girls over here right now because it is time for you. Because I want you to be ready to make as much noise as you've ever made in the Calgary Stampede on the count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. You know, I want you to know, we did all that just for you, you know. Luke's smiling here right now, coming to us from, well, originally from Valley Springs, California, but these days he resides in San Diego. I'll tell you why that's important in a minute. Here we go. Now, I guess this is the appropriate time to say, kids, don't try this at home, but that's how it happened with him. He, 13 years old, inspired by the X Games at 16, he turned pro. And you know why that whole San Diego thing? Because this guy loves to surf every single day he's at home. Coming to us from KSFMX, Yamaha, Scott, Thor, and Monster. Put your hands together, Luke Dolan. You know what I mean? I mean, it is so cool. Most of the riders come from the world of motocross racing, but not this guy. He was strapped on a snowmobile at 4 years old with his mama in the backcountry. In 2009, he learned ramps both for snowmobiles and motorcycles, but I think it was 2018 was the first medal that he got at the X Games. But the reason why I want to point out all that snowmobile stuff is because this is the reigning gold medalist from the X Games Speed and Style. Brought to us by KSFMX Yamaha, Monster, Fly, DBK, and Western Power Sports. Put your hands together, Willie Elam. You know, it goes back 21 years that I first saw this rider. And I stood there just like you will, just like this. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this rider before. In over 21 years, he's competed at the X Games, competed at X Fighters, but continues to dazzle audiences around the world. Coming to us from Templeton, Massachusetts, and brought to us by KSFMX, Yamaha, Scott, DBK, Thor, and SCS. You were here with Brody Wilson. And then there's one rider remaining. What's it like to be in the presence of X Games royalty, a 3-time X Games gold medalist? You know, the story I love to tell is this. When she first went to the X Games to compete against all the boys in a big whip contest and picked up bronze, I said, what was it like to compete against the boys? She's done it all her life, and she said, I do what I do every time. I made them cry. You gotta love her. Coming to us from Monster, 805 DJI Fly and KSFMX Yamaha. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Vicky Golden. Now, you know, they're up there waiting for you. Go ahead and hand your hands up high. Let me hear some noise here if you're a freestyle fan. I love this part. It's like the original days of freestyle motocross when each of the riders will come out here and showcase their skills individually on the ramp. Watch each and every one of them. They all have such a unique style. Here comes Dolan now. Dolan! Starts it off with a cliffhanger jackhammer. The only thing holding him on the bike is his boots under the handlebars. Every time he does that trick, I just get pumped. I don't know how he gets himself so far out to the side. Wilson up there, speaking of getting out to the side. Another super knack. You had them both going on right here. Here comes Vicky Golden. That race number 423 right there on the front. Oh, beautifully done. Hard at least a tsunami-style kiss of death, pushing herself up into that handstand on top of the handlebar. Ooh, a whip kick like that makes me a little nervous in that wind up there. It's blowing them around. You got to be straight coming down on that ramp. An old school trick, a new school way. Hands off, hands to the back. I don't know what he calls that, but he's the only guy I've ever seen do what you just saw. Coming to us from San Diego, Vicky Golden. Oh, I gotta love that. That is an old school style backflip. Pull, and then pull again. Golden up high, that flip. Did he get it straight coming back down that ramp? Bringing that foot across the backside, throws the trajectory of the motorcycle off of the ramp. victory, not only in Indy this way, but like this time for Willie Ela. Wilson and a Superman backflip. Huge trick from Brody Wilson. Vicky Golden giving it the revs here now, and LZ coming to the ring. Oh, she kicked it out. Did you see her push that bike out to the side for that Indy? You got it like that. She's not that big up there in the wind. Ladies and gentlemen, our riders have given you what freestyle's all about. Look at Vicky coming by here now. You can see her lifting those hands up. So ladies and gentlemen, as they pause up here for just a minute, riders here conspiring back and forth. This is often a rider's choice. Will the riders work together? Will they work individually? Let's see what they have in mind. Oh, you gotta love it. On the backside, you saw all the Indies, but in the middle, you catch Brody just throwing in a holy grab right there. Riders.
Full house over there tonight.
Yeah.
Right?
Friday night.
At least I can make half of a video out of this.
Will.